Alright gang, welcome back to our Island Preservation Challenge here on Ronida Island. It is now December, and today we've got a couple of things to do, but not a ton. A lot of the stuff that we would want to sell is not going to be best to sell until next month. Excuse me, more specifically around the sorghum. That's one of the main things we have left to sell. We also have the sunflowers, but the sunflowers aren't good right now. We're going to hold on to those. Lots and lots of clothes have spawned. A lot of clothes. We are going to make a ton of money when it comes time to actually sell those clothes. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be good, man. That's going to be real good money for us when that time comes. So, let's see. Oh, you can only do green beans in here. Okay. For some reason, I thought spinach was in here as well. Anyway, we're going to do spinach in this field, our experimental field, as I'm going to call it, as we move forward here. We're going to do spinach in there, and for some reason, I thought the spinach was in the planter. I really don't use spinach all that often, so it was an easy mistake to make, but one that, whatever. We'll just switch about real quick. It won't take us too long. So today, really what we have to do is, because we don't have tons of money, but really what we have to do today is work on that experimental field that I was getting ready to put spinach into. We need to do a similar situation for that field over there that we plowed in the last episode. We need to put some oilseed radish in there. Just to get that first application of fertilizer down. And then that's really the main two things we need to do today. We will see what else we can get into and what else we can come up with. Obviously, we'll take a look at used market among numerous other things as well. Now, the last episode, a lot of people seemed to be mixed feelings about that tractor that I was talking about that is no longer out there. But it was definitely mixed feelings on if we should. Yeah, it is in here. I don't know why I thought for some reason it was in the planter. A lot of people thought, well, maybe you should have sold everything and went for that tractor. But, at the same time, I got comments of what I said, which was, I'm not quite sure it really makes sense for the size of the farm yet. Will it eventually? Yeah, probably, but not really yet. So it probably, the money would be better utilized elsewhere. And I kind of agree with that. So I get both sides, but I am happy that we didn't do that. I'm gonna leave it at that. So we'll get the spinach in here. Now, the two things we have to do here, they're really not going to take a ton of time to do. One, because we've got a nice width here on this plant or this drill, and both the fields are kind of ready for that situation of them being planted, right, or seeded. So drilled, whatever. So it's not a ton of things to do today, but we will find some other things to do. I assure you that we don't have enough money to buy another plot of land. Well, we probably have enough money to buy a small plot of land, and I say small plot of land when I'm talking about is kind of like this one right here, right, where it's just a tiny little corner of stuff. But don't worry, we are going to we're going to find some things to do. I just killed some crop there. Crapola. Oh well, it happens. So this pass coming up this way, you're really going to see how much clothes we actually have, and I can tell you right now there are some clothes still in storage. I know one of you mentioned in the comments that that production will spawn as long as there's nothing in the way. 14 pallets, I think, is what you said it'll spawn. I think you said that. That's what we could look at it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Maybe it's 12. Maybe it was 12. Either way, that's a lot of pallets of wool, guys. And if we're going to make anywhere between $17,000 to $20,000 per one of those, I mean, just do the math, gang. We're going to be making over $200,000 off of that. So, absolutely 100% my best decision that I've made so far on this series was shifting gears and going on a cotton type of farm approach, because that is really, really going to help us as we move forward here. I mean, it's really going to put us through to the next level. And what I mean by that is being able to buy things, right? We're going to be able to buy quite a bit. We still, unfortunately, won't be able to buy a harvester, and I don't think we'll get lucky enough again to have a harvester in the used market for cotton. But when I say a harvester, I'm talking about one of the ones that's in the base game, not a mod, not the manual mod or anything like that. So, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We'll have to make do with what we got until we get that money. But that will certainly allow us to at least progress and do a lot of other things, right? Upgrade a lot of other equipment. Buy some more land, of course, maybe even kickstart the house project, right? Now, speaking of that real quick, just bear with me for a minute for those of you that have already heard this, but I was talking about a specific house a couple episodes back, and a lot of you mentioned that it's going to need the castle stone, which I wasn't even thinking about, and you're 100% spot on, it will. It's not 100% that I'm going to continue to stay away from it. I probably should, though, because the castle stone is going to add so much more to it. It's going to take so much longer. So I will see if I can find anything on ModHub that that I like as far as the construction project goes. That's a similar type of approach, right? That is like kind of a log cabin approach. That's what I'm looking for. I've done the main log cabin already. I did that on our survival challenge series when the game kind of first came out. I already did that, so I really don't want to do it again. I'd like to do something different. So I will see if I can find anything on ModHub. To be fair, I have never once looked on ModHub for a constructible. We don't really do them that often. Maybe I should, but I just really haven't. So I don't know what's out there. There could be nothing out there at all. I really don't know, but we'll take a peek and see. Now I am still dealing with that ModHub issue. I don't know. It's now Tuesday. I don't know. At least the time of the recording, it's now Tuesday. I don't know what's going on. I can't get anything to download. I've tried hard closing out the game, hard closing out the Xbox. I mean, I've tried literally every single trick in the book. And nothing's working. I still can't download anything. It sits there and acts like it's downloading it, and then it just restarts, or it just says, okay, it's downloaded. Gives you the option to do an uninstall, but then when you go and try to load it up, and I'm talking about a map specifically in this instance, you try to go load it up, the map, and start a new save file on that map, that map's not there. It's non-existent. And then you go back to ModHub again, and it says download or install. I don't know what's happening, man. I really don't. It's quite weird, but I don't know what to do. So I'm hoping maybe the next coming week there'll be an update from Giants that fixes it. I don't know. I mean, I know it was a holiday weekend here recently, so maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know, but man, it sucks for us on Xbox right now. I did talk to Agrarian Builder, who is a member on the channel. Thank you for your support, by the way. He's on PS5, I'm pretty sure, and he said he's not having any issues on PS5, so it appears it's just an Xbox thing. Yeah, he said he heard some other people on Xbox having the same issues, so I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'm hoping it's fixed soon, because I really would like to get a new series going here on the channel. I really would. I've got a lot of ideas in my brain. I know a lot of you know that already. And I'd like one of the ideas in my brain to kind of come to fruition. I don't want to, not that I'm going to, because I'm writing everything down, but I don't want to lose sight of the excitement that I have for it, right? And I've said this many times before, and I'll say it many times again, right? I don't want to release a video if I'm not excited about it. I mean, why would I, right? You're going to hear that I'm not, enthusiastic or excited about what I'm doing in the video, right? I don't want that to be the case. So when I've got a nice decision about something or a nice idea about something, I kind of want to get it put down in a recording and then kind of watch it back in the edit and make sure that it actually is coming off as exciting as I'm expecting it to be, as excited as I am about it. Because if it's not, then there's a problem. So you get the point, though. I'm going on a rant here, but you get the point. All right, so I don't know where I'm going here. I am just talking away and not really understanding or realizing what I'm doing here. So, we could go put oilseed radish in this field over here. Now, we do have, and it might be something that maybe we should do for the time being, because we've got plenty of yard space here, right now at least. We've got plenty of yard space. This area that you're seeing over here, it's just kind of wasted space right now. Eventually, it is going to be yard extensions and productions and things like that, but we're not really quite there yet, right? So I'm kind of thinking about actually turning this portion of this grass over here into a field for a temporary period of time. Obviously, as I mentioned, it is not going to be forever. It probably will be a limited period of time that's a field, but maybe for at least one or two harvests we might be able to get a little extra out of that, because right now it's just sitting there being wasted space. Now I could mow it, of course, but right now we really don't have any reason to mow. We've got plenty of grass for the sheep. There's not a problem there. Once we start getting cows and things like that we need, yeah, we'll probably need a little bit more at that point. Or maybe, we only have $8,000, but maybe we could at least start the cow venture at a small amount, right? A small rate. Maybe we go with that approach. We put down a small pen or something like that for the cows. I don't know. Lots of things to think about, honestly. Lots of things to think about, so. But I'm really kind of leaning towards either making that a field, or maybe that's where we put the cows at, right? Maybe that's where we put them. I don't know. Lots of choices there I need to think about, but either way, we need to get the rest of this field done first, and then we'll make a decision on where we want to go next. Alright, gang, well, I have a plan here. I think I know what I'm going to do. So we're going to do a little bit of both of what I just talked about. So I said about, taking over some of this land here and making a field, temporarily, of course, and we're going to do that. That's what we're going to be doing in the immediate, today, at least I should say, the immediate now. We'll be doing that today. But we're also going to add some cows, too. And so, I never use this. The guys use this in the competitive one-tile challenge. I still have it installed. I'd like to use it. It's a pretty nice one. But I started thinking to myself, okay, first of all, we need $25,000. We don't have enough money for that right now anyway, but soon enough we will. But what if we stick it somewhere in this range where you're looking at right now, right? That's still plenty of room over here for us to make a field, kind of cut down like this way and over here, and then give enough room for imagine, here, I'll use it this way. The cursor, make a track coming this way and over to here, because I said I wanted to do that anyway, right? But if we still, put the main thing right here, this is our land up on this hill in the trees here, right? In most places, there's going to be trees for the cows to take some shade, right? So what if we modify the fence to be our own? It's going to allow us to have a heck of a lot more cows than it already does, which is already insane. But what if we do that and wrap it around the trees here, right? We could go up the hill a little bit and wrap it, if it lets us, or at least to here, and cut over, and then down and around the trees. It would be an awkward looking pin, I get that, but it would give them open space here to roam around if they want to. And then a big area of shaded area, which I'm sure they would love. Why don't we do that? This is going to be kind of wasted space anyway. I mean, I guess we could chop these trees down for the house and stuff. But, I mean, I don't think we're going to be at a shortage of trees to put towards the house, right? So, let's do that. I think that's a good idea, right? I don't know. I think it's a good idea, so we're going to do it. So for now, we'll put in a temporary field. Well, I guess it's temporary long-term. Eventually, it will no longer be a field. Eventually, it'll be taken up by yard extensions. But for now, it shouldn't really be a problem. I'm going to give plenty of space over here, even if I don't necessarily need it. I'm going to give plenty of space anyway. We can always come back and touch it up later. Not a huge deal. And I'm not too concerned about this being perfectly straight or anything like that, like I normally would be. I've talked many times before that I really want to try to keep my fields relatively straight because of the way that I like to harvest and plow and seed stuff, but I don't really care all that much on this field since it's going to be a temporary field anyway. We're just going to be utilizing the space a little bit more and getting a little bit more money out of it because of it, right? So I don't care all that much about it not being perfect. Soon enough, it'll be paved over, or however you want to word it. Did I get a little bit too close there? I might have got a little bit too close there. I did get a little too close there. Yeah, I should have cut it back over here. Well, I don't have enough money for it right now anyway, so we'll just keep going, and if we can modify it later on. Alright, I need to make sure I give enough room down here for that little track that I talked about that I wanted to have in here. And I say little track, it's going to be our large track. That's probably plenty. But this isn't a small field we're putting in here, right? This is a relatively decent-sized field. Now, what are we going to put in this field? It's a great question. Honestly, it's probably going to be something that I can utilize for our brand new harvester that we purchased. Well, I say brand new. Gently used harvester we purchased in the last episode, right? So something that we can utilize the palletizer with and utilize that harvester instead of doing manual harvesting. It'll be one of those. I'm not quite sure which one, but it'll be one of those. I'm just going to stop there. We're going to head down here and come back the other way so I don't make that too far along. I'm going to try to connect it up here a little bit. I'm trying to think what I want to put in here. Probably soybeans. I think soybeans make sense because by the time they're ready to harvest, it's going to be the best time to sell them. So I think soybeans. Might have made that a little bit too far, but that's all right. All right, there you go. It's a pretty decent, right? It's a decent size. I don't know if it's, I don't know, around this size, probably a little bit bigger than this size, maybe. So it's probably our third or fourth biggest probably field. Now, realistically, you would probably think that maybe I should put cotton in there, and you're probably right. Maybe I should put cotton in there just because we're going pretty heavy on the cotton approach. But I think we've got enough cotton, and we have to do cotton manually, right? We know that for a fact. It's going to take a while before that's, going to be different. Soybeans and canola really are the best bang for your buck, I guess I should say, without having to turn them into another byproduct. So yeah, let's do soybeans in this field, just based solely on the fact that we know soybeans are going to be best to sell in the middle of the summer, and it is December, and by the time they're ready to harvest, it should be around then. I'm not sure if it'll be exactly lined up perfectly or not. Probably won't be, but it'll be near it, which means we'll, get a little bit more money out of that, which is good, because in the summer, we really don't have any kind of a money maker at all right now. Once the clothes have been sold in the April-May area, in June they start dropping dramatically, right? So having soybeans June, July, something like that would be nice to kind of carry over a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with this decision. I really am. I needed to do something with it. It was just sitting here. It was a waste of space. Really, the yard we made is too large for where we are right now, but that's okay. So I could have probably, made this a little bit larger if I wouldn't have already painted the ground for the yard, or paved the ground for the yard. But that's all right. Now, I'm not going to do any kind of a track or anything here on the right just yet. I'm going to wait until we kind of have a little bit better idea of how things are going to be working out. I don't want to waste the money on that, so we'll just leave it as natural grass, and we can just drive over it whenever we want to. It's really going to depend on how the whole, the cow pen and everything kind of lines up. Now, when this is all done, we've got to get the stones up off of this, and then we can put in the soybeans in here. So we've got some work to do here. But it shouldn't be too terrible. It shouldn't take too long. Okay, we're making good progress. We still got a ways to go here. Obviously, we're just now beginning the planting of the soybeans here into the ground. I'm going to actually let a worker do most of this. I did the headland already, so I'm going to get this set to turn the worker on. And not... Well, actually, there's one more headland pass I got to do. All right, we'll do one more headland pass. Then I'll put it on a worker. Because I want to do a few other things. A couple other things I want to do is kind of some maintenance type of stuff, really. I want to check on the chickens and the sheep. They should be fine, but I do think we've probably run out of the bales for the sheep at this point, but I think they're still going to be okay in regard to food, because there was plenty of meadow grass in there last I looked. However, it is December now, so grass is kind of not growing anymore, so I do want to check on them, make sure they're okay. I want to move that wool from there over into Grandma's knitwear as well. Keep it running. Grandma's knitwear is going to run out of cotton here relatively soon. I think there was only about 2,000 or so liters left in there for the grannies to kind of work through from our big massive harvest recently. So they're going to run out soon. The nice thing is, I believe next episode, because we're not going to do a second episode here in December, I believe next episode, there's a little strip here that we're missing. Huh. Okay. Well, we'll fix that. But I believe next month 2 of our cotton fields are going to be ready to harvest. The knife field and then our coastal cotton field, as I like to call it. I think both of those are going to be ready to harvest. And those are, well, the one is gigantic. The other one is still relatively large. The knife one is still relatively large, right? So if you take a peek here, yeah, those two... Maybe not this one, but I think they're about the same stage. They're both going to probably be ready. So next month we'll have to deal with this field, the oilseed radish, plowing that back up and getting it prepped and ready to go for probably another wheat field. Well, eventually we're going to combine those two together, as I mentioned, but yeah, probably a wheat field. And then we'll be harvesting these fields, right? So now you might be asking yourself, why didn't I put oilseed radish in this field? Well, it's because there was grass on the ground first, so it should, in theory, have its first application of fertilizer already on it. And as you can tell, it does. So there was no real reason to go through that whole process when it already has that first application of fertilizer on it. We're getting a lot of stones in our stone, well, I was going to say our pit, but it's not really, I don't know what you would call it. I guess it kind of is. I don't know. Maybe that's still what they call it. I don't know. But anyway, our stone collecting area, it's got a lot in there. Like, we're going to get to 100,000 pretty quickly. That's all that holds. Used market. There's a couple nice things out here, but really, I mean, this is something we probably would want and could use. We don't have the money for it. This would be nice just in the sense of using it as a flatbed to move pallets that we can lift by hand around. Would certainly make things faster, but I don't think it's really necessary, personally. Right now, at least. So both of those, nice to have. Really, we don't have the money for them, and so because of that reason, well, quite frankly, there's not really a reason to do them, right? So we'll just turn working the headlands off, even though we could leave it on because we did them. It shouldn't be an issue, but we'll just turn it off so the worker has literally no issues at all besides dealing with the main up and downs here, right? So don't know what they're doing. They just spun around in circles. It's exactly where we just were, but whatever. You do you, I guess. Whatever you want to do, man. Okay, so let's jump into the fiat here. Animals, let's take a look. Chickens, yeah, they're going to need some more food here soon. We're probably going to have to put some sorghum in there, unfortunately, even though it's best to sell sorghum next month. We're probably going to have to do it because our wheat field isn't going to be ready for a while. Same with the sorghum field, I think. Or no, barley. I'm sorry, is that barley? Yeah, barley. It must be barley. Yeah, barley. Neither one of those are going to be ready for a while, so probably going to have to maybe withhold even selling some of the sorghum. We might sell 1 or 2 pallets, maybe, if we're lucky. But we're not going to be able to sell all of them, unfortunately. Now, we did sell the eggs last month. The eggs are probably still a decent price right now. We might want to consider selling those today. I mean, we can always just hold on to them, of course, but we might want to consider it. The crickets are running out of water, so we probably should get some water to them here. Fermenter, fine. Yeah, it's oh, it's out of cotton. Okay, so it only has the wool left. I don't have it on, so let's turn that on. But it did run out of cotton. We've got some baby sheep in there, some teenager sheep in there. I see all kinds of stuff going on in there. 60 out of 61 animals. There's only one more animal that can be accepted there. Sheep-wise, how are we looking? Yeah, they've got plenty of meadow grass right now. They're starting to eat through some of the grass that's in there, but it's not any kind of a concern anytime soon. So I'm not going to worry about them right now. We will wait until it gets a little lower on the grass, and then we can go to our silage pole, stick, whatever, and move some of the grass that we have in there over here for the sheep. Because right now that's just basically a storage for us. We're not really doing anything with it but that. Alright, we'll huck these off here. There we go. Okay, maybe. Please. Thank you. Alright. So that gets our wool count up to 4,038 liters. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably get another pallet out of it, for sure, which is good. But look at all these pallets, man. I mean, let's just do some math here real quick. Let's go down to close. The average best price is 19,483 in April. If we get 19,000, I mean, 40, 60, 80, 120, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, and we've got, these are 1,000 a piece? Yeah. I mean, we're looking at $200 and almost $40,000 in close coming our way in the next handful of months, which is crazy to think about, right? That is really going to change the landscape once again, just like it did last time when we actually sold all the clothes, right? Well, I'm just going to run right into that trailer. Good job, Z. But just like then, it's going to change the landscape, but this time even more, because we've got a lot more in there than we did in the last time that all happened, right? A lot more in there than we did last time. Okay, so is there anything else for us to do? I don't think there is. I think we've kind of accomplished everything. We talked about the cows already, and I think I'm going to put them here, and obviously I'm going to have to take up part of this, but you know, we'll probably hold off on putting the cows in until this field is ready to harvest, and then once it's harvested, then we can put the cows in and take away some of that field, right? I don't think there's anything else specifically that we need to do. So I guess we can take over for the worker and get the remainder of this done. There's not too much left to do here. It shouldn't take too long. We just don't really have enough money to buy another field or do anything else. Oh, nope. Or do anything else field-wise, right? Well, I say do anything else field-wise. I mean buy another plot of land and start, you know, working on a new field, right? We don't really have the money for that. Maybe we could buy 82. Yeah, we could buy 82. But what would we really do with that? What would be the point of that? The only point would be whenever we're ready to harvest this one, which we just recently drilled it, you know, we can expand this field and make it a coastal cotton field as well, right? And maybe that's exactly what we end up doing. More than likely it is going to be what we end up doing with that extra space there, but it doesn't really need to be right now. There's no real reason to buy it right now. Can't do anything with it. That field's already in the process of growing. And this one, yeah, 16, so we don't have enough for that. There's a little bit of space down here that I guess we could do something with, but I don't know what we would do with that area over there. It's not really... It's just to the side of the sheep area. I mean, eventually it's probably just going to be some kind of a track that we have that comes up this way, right? grapes are still in the process. We are going to be doing those at some point. I've talked about those, I don't know, a number of episodes back, and I haven't lost track of that. We're definitely doing grapes at some point in the near future, but we don't have the money for them right now. We don't have the land for them right now. I said I want to put them kind of on the side of the hill here between 61 and 51, and that's still the goal. It's close to the coast here, which is good. It's got some, it's good for grapes to be kind of near lakes and or coasts of places. They grow better, so. Just trying to keep with that theme a little bit. Now, the ones I went to recently when I was in Wisconsin, they were not actually near any kind of a lake or river or anything of that nature. They were on the sides of hill, but I didn't really see them near a lake or river, so it must have been different kinds of grapes. And to be fair, I don't really know all that much about grapes. My wife loves wine. I like wine. My wife loves wine, so but I don't really know that much about what grape would grow better there versus, I mean, they tell us when you're going and doing a tasting, right, at a winery, but, I don't really, it doesn't really stick in my brain for very long. But I know there's certain types of grapes that, do better in certain environments, right? There's certain grapes that thrive in really cold climates. In Wisconsin, you get a lot of snow, so that would be, in my opinion, a cold climate, right? All right, let's get the rest of this done. Okay, that field's all done, gang, and so are we. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like, subscribe button in case you've yet to do so. They are free, and it helps me and the channel out more than you can possibly imagine. It's by far the easiest way to help me out, and it's completely free to do. So hit that like button for me. Thanks to my members for all their continued support. It really does mean the world, all of the support that they have continued to show me year after year. It really is amazing. If you want early access to videos like this one as one of the perks you get, there is a link down below where you can become a member and you can see what other things you can potentially get. Check out my second channel. I mentioned that, I think, in yesterday's episode of the Triple Threat Challenge, but check out my second channel if you haven't done so already. We got some good stuff coming there. I do different gameplays. I don't do Farming Simulator. I normally do single-player, campaign type of playthroughs, shooters, and some Dynasty Warriors for sure. Hack and slash type of stuff. Things like that. If any of that interests you, maybe check it out. I've got lots and lots of stuff there. Check out the Discord, all that good stuff. Everything's down below. Thanks for watching as always. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you next time.